Hi friends, it's Becky, and today I wanted to make another design with the Gone Batty design kit from Softflex. And when I was going through my Halloween bead stash, I found this bat. Come on, guys, there we go. This bat cutout that I got from Allegory Gallery, and they do have these available for purchase. I'll put a link to Allegory Gallery in the description below. So that if you wanted to get one of these bat cutouts or one of the other really cool cutouts that they have there, you can do that. And while you're there, check out their Halloween inspiration kits that they put together. They're really cool, and a lot of them are very affordable. So just a little shout out for Allegory Gallery. I do enjoy a lot of the things that they have there. But my first thought when I was doing this, and this is the Softflex Gone Batty design kit. It was the mystery design kit that they unboxed for the month of October. And at first I thought about wire wrapping it to one of these silver guys, but it's not quite the right size for it. So instead, I think I'm going to have these be part of like a necklace design. And then I'm going to do like some beads around the back side of it like that ish. Probably. So let's pull out some more beads to have with this. I think this middle part here that this is hanging from, I think I might want to just have these were also in my design kit, or these were in my Halloween bead stash. These were not in the Softflex design kit, but I thought maybe I'd do something with them, but I am not, so I'm gonna move those out of the way. But I thought I might want to use this chain to hang that from. Let's see if that's a good idea or not. My chain is in, speaking of knots, in a bit of a knot. But let's pull out some beads and put them in order and see how we like them. And I am still going to use some beading or some craft wire. I'm just not going to wire wrap this onto it. I'll use this 20 gauge black wire to make this focal into a focal. And I'll probably also use it to make some little sparkly earrings or something with these moon charms, because I really like them and I think I want to make some earrings with them. But then we'll do some stringing on the black onyx beading wire. We're using the 2x2 crimp tubes that came in here. I've got my wire working tools here. Got a 6-step bail making plier, a chain nose pliers, and a wire cutter. And I've got my crimper here so that I can crimp the wire when we go to actually string it. And I pulled out some spacers because I think I want to just bling this up with silver. I want to keep adding silver in between some of these beads because we've already got these, and I just want it going up the rest of the way on the beads with all of those. But I would like to incorporate these chunky boys, these big old guys. I would like to incorporate some of these sparkly metallic-y guys in here. Maybe these cubes as well. Let's see about doing that. Should we grab some of these smaller beads? Maybe. Thinking about it. But definitely some of these black fire polish beads. And for sure, these black beads here that are these fun shapes. I think this may end up being enough beads for a necklace shape, but I might need to add a few more, maybe some of these swirly beads to get more gray tones in here. Yeah. All right. think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's probably good. I'm gonna actually, because I think that's very moon-like. I'm gonna put that with those. Maybe a couple of these actually, because I think they are really cool beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So is this going to be a really, really long necklace? Maybe. Maybe not. We'll figure it out. All right. Let me get this part made first, and then we will pull out these beads and start figuring out what order I want to string them on, because we want to get this part on here first. And so for this, I need my beading wire. I'm going to pull off a little bit of it. I'm just going to warm it up with my fingers first. And it also helps to straighten it out if you just bend it around your finger and then bend it back. It like works most of the kinks out when you do that. I think that's going to be long enough. Let's get my bail making pliers out, and I want to make a bail that is going to be big enough to go around this part. So I think this, let's just go all the way to the 6th step. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That I said 6th, but I meant 4th. Where's my brain today? The 4th step. Let's do that. All right. So I'm going to about 1/3 of the way down from there. I'm going to bend it back away from me and then pull it around forward around that round part. Then I open up the pliers, rotate them, and continue pulling this around until it crosses over there, like someone putting their scarf around their neck. And that should be big enough for this to still have some movement to swing around when it's on there. And if you notice, I kind of moved this away from there so that I could slide this on. I'm going to move that right back where it was, right there, and hold on to the loop with my pliers while I use my fingers to wrap this wire around the neck there. Just going to go 1, 2, 3 times around. What's the front? Okay. And in the back. And that way I've got a little bail on my guy, and it's got a lot of movement, so it should swing around nicely like that. All right, and now I'm going to stack the swirly gray giant bead that came in the bead kit and a couple of these bead the large size bead caps that came on the bead strand, which was an accessory to that kit. It was an add-on that you could purchase separately. And I'm just going to put each of those bead caps on either side of that. And I would like my loop to actually, ooh, no, I have an idea. I want my loop to face with the round part facing this way. So I'm going to turn this to the side like that. I'm going to hold on to my wire with my pliers and bend over the top of it so that I have some space between my beads and my loop to do some wrapping down there. And then I'm going to make a loop. Let's make it using the second smallest loop on my pliers. That's the first largest, that's the second. And look, I got the right number this time. very, very pleased with myself. Good job, me. I'm going to pull that all the way around. All right, and while it's still here on the pliers, I'm just going to bring this around all the way around and keep going until we get down to that bead for the wrapping. There we go. There we go. And now I wanted to use that chain to attach this focal to these two guys. So let me tuck this in real quick. So let me grab some jump rings and cut myself a couple of sort of shorter lengths of chain, maybe an inch or two. It doesn't need to be super long. Actually, that's, clip that bit off of that end there. Where's that one that I can twist off? I think I can twist that one off. Or not. Okay, I'm gonna have to clip it off. And now I can twist it. Sometimes chain requires fiddling to get it to work for you. All right, so I'm gonna link that link. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Will that be long enough? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to want to cut this link. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm only counting the big ovals, not the little infinity link between them. And I'm cutting at the infinity link. So the big oval is what we'll get linked to. Go. Linked to this. All right, let's get that chain out of the way. And let's get a couple of jump rings opened and closed. And I've just got some gunmetal jump rings here. Actually, these are 6mm jump rings. I'm gonna grab my 5mm because I think they might actually be a better size for that. So let me move those out of the way, the 6mm ones. I also grabbed a gunmetal lobster clasp for this. Yeah, I think that's going to be a better size because it's about the same size-ish as my little ovals. So it's not going to be as big of a, well, it's a really big loop sort of situation right next to the other ones. Oh, I just wanted it to flow and blend in a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to take one end of this chain using my jump ring, and I'm going to loop it onto here like that. And then one end of this second chain, just want to twist it open like that with the jump ring and loop it on to this that way. So now I've got 2 pieces of chain like that. And I'm going to take this, make sure it's nice and connected before I open it. Sometimes when they overlap too much like that, you've got to fix it before you can twist it open. So it'll go back into the right place. And then right here, sort of in this middle section right here, that's where I'm going to connect that. And then one end of my chain boom. And we'll do the same thing over here on this side. Because there's that like spine down the center of it. This line that goes all the way through the middle. This is like a spider web. Ooh, I have some spider charms. Maybe I should wire wrap them onto here. Hold on, let me go look for my spider charms and see if that will be a fun thing to add, because yeah, hold on. Let me close this jump ring real quick. Now that I've got this connected, I'm going, well, okay, wait a minute. This is gonna be like a big design element just with that. Maybe I should play into the strengths of it. Where are my spider charms? I know I have some. Boom, boom, boom. This is the one that I got these bats out of, by the way, is this one. And look, they are gunmetal color. They have a little black guy in them. Oh my god, how perfect is that? All right, let's get it. They're like a connector, so there's like a loop over here and a loop here. So what if I used a jump ring to connect them? That would make them a little bit looser, but it might be a little bit easier than wire wrapping. All right, so how do I want them on here? Let's try the jump rings through that loop and then the other loop. So if I'm going through this end here with the jump ring and this loop on my spider, and then over here on the other side, I've got a little section of this that I can put that jump ring through and then put it through that loop. Okay. Let's do this. I'm making it spookier. Extra spooky. Oh, where are you going, buddy? All right, so now I'm gonna just switch over to the other side of this jump ring because I want to be able to loop this. I'm just rotating that jump ring through that loop, trying to. I think I've got it. Yes. Okay. So there we go. I've got it through both the loop and this bit right here. Do not move until I have closed this. Jump ring up. This is really hard to get grip on. I'm trying to find a different pair of pliers. Ooh, I know. my teeny tiny pliers. Here you go. These might be a little bit easier to hold on to that with. While it's being worn, it might shift around, but gravity will pull it down that way. All right. And now this other one. Let's have it facing the other direction. And we'll start with this backside one. And I could do another loop here at the top as well, but I am not feeling like that's going to necessarily be necessary. There's 2 connection points. That should be enough to hold this guy on here. If I do the other one right there. Yep. All right. Okay. Why are you so shaky, Becky? Okay. There's that end. Let's get that held and bring those ends together. Aha. So far, so spooky. All right, now we just need some beads around the back of this. Let's do that. All right, let's move that over there. Start with one of these close to there with a little sparkly guy to start with. And then a silver rondelle. And another one of these guys. And then a silver rondelle. And a square. And then let's do one of these. A gray bead. Maybe we'll do those on another necklace and we'll just keep going with these ones. All right. And then these guys. All right. And one of these sparkly rondelles. And this guy. And that one, this guy, this guy, and then that one, and this guy. Now let's do some cubes in here. Let's toss some of these cubes in, since we're geometric, like that. Okay. let me string one end, see how long that is, and see if that is going to be, it's probably going to be long enough, let's be honest, because I do like a short necklace. All right, I'm going to string this on from here and attach it to that, and then try it on, and then I can always cut more off if we're going to be adding beads to it. But that way, if I just start stringing from this end and then attach it, yeah, that'll work. All right. You know what I could do is, to add more length to this, I could start inserting some of these in there because they're nice and long if I need it. All right, I'm going to crimp directly onto here. Where did my crimp beads slip? There they go. So I'm going to put the crimp bead through here, and then I'm going to go through the same hole but on the opposite end as I attached to this. So where you've got that center line here on the web, you just want to go through that hole right next to it. And then go back through the crimp bead, scooch it up next to our finding, and then grab our crimper. We're gonna do some crimping. All right, I'm gonna crimp this real quick here, and because it's a little bit more fiddly, it's gonna be hard to walk you through it. So when we go to crimp the end beads, after we've finished stringing everything on, I'll walk you through that crimp, because it's this one with this part here is a little bit fiddly. And if you've never seen that type of crimping, it might be very confusing how I did it. All right. Now, I'm about to hold this up and pull this around the back of my neck to see if it is long enough for me. Because I do like a shorter necklace, but I also want this big part to be below my collarbone, like this part right here with the spiders and stuff should be below my collarbone, not around the back of my neck. So I'm probably going to need to add a little bit more length. Yes. All right. So I'm going to want that to be about that much longer. So I'm going to go ahead and clip that bit off so that I can adjust my length here. So what I'm going to do here is, I think I want to put one of these in here somewhere. I want this to be around the very back of it. So I'm going to keep that in that same order. I like that. But I'm going to go point down for this one. Add another one of these black rondelles. And then this guy. I'm going to put these guys back on and see if it's at the length that I want yet. If not, we'll add another one of these guys, probably down here. Because you can unstring and restring as much as you want before you crimp, and you can even unstring and restring after you crimp if you cut the crimp and start with a new cord. You can change your mind. It's totally okay. Okay, that is exactly the length that I want. Exactly. There we go. My little spiders. Oh, that's so great. Let's get this connected to a jump ring. And for this, I'm going to go ahead and grab one of those 6mm jump rings that I pulled out earlier. And I'm going to go, I already put my crimp bead on here. I'm going to go through my jump ring, back through here to make a loop. I'm going to just go through a couple of these beads so that when I cut it off, it will be, the cut won't be next to the crimp. You can cut right next to the crimp. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, so once my crimp is the size that I want, I'm going to want to center this crimp in my crimper. And to do that, I just want it to be a little bit further away from that bead. So I just use my fingernail to make a little space so that I can center that here in this concavity. And once it's centered, I'm just going to give it a little squeeze, and that squeezes just the corners of the crimp. And when I rotate it to like 90 degrees, give it another squeeze, it smushes down all of the corners. Yes. There we go. It wasn't rotating right. So you just want to open it, squish, and just rotate it between the opening and the squishing. See, that just rounds it out, smooths out all those edges. It is my favorite way of crimping because then I don't have to use a crimp cover. And it's all done because I'm terrible at crimp covers. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm terrible at it. Look at my little spider, guys. Love that. All right, so I'm going to want to cut, well, actually, no, I can just start stringing, I think, directly from the spool. But I am going to want to, in this order that I have it, I'm going to be inserting that same order one of these and one of those and one of these, and then the rest of everything I think is the same order. Yep, there we go. Where's the hole? So we can get all of this strung on and then attached, and the necklace will be done. And maybe I will make my little moon earring, guys. I think that that's a good idea. You know what? I don't like these for that. I like these for that. Yeah. Let's use them. And these. Yeah, that's gonna be good. Sorry, I was thinking about the earrings while I was stringing, because that's one of the fun things about doing jewelry making is like you you can get into a little bit of a rhythm, and then you stop thinking about what you're doing and start thinking about other things. Just let your mind wander. Your cares and worries slip away, or you maybe figure out the solution to a problem that you haven't been able to figure out for a while you are doing something creatively with your hands. It's one of the things I like about creative activities like this, is that I can sometimes use my creative process to work on other problems. All right, got my crimp on there. Gonna go through there and then go back and then crimp this guy. Try and make sure my loop is roughly the same as on the other side. Whoop. I think I might need to loop this guy on over here with another jump ring on that end, and the same thing with this guy's other end here, because he's flipping around a little too much. But we'll do that in a minute after I get this crimped. Give myself enough room there for crimping. Couple of inches. Let's turn that back. Ooh. Let's put our lobster clasp in there. Put it back through. All right, that was done. And let's just do another jump ring through there. Right there is going to be fine. Just so there's 3 points of attachment, I think it'll hold it a little bit better. Okay, there. That's a good place for it. And this guy, whoop. You know what I need to do is go through this one first, and then go through this bit. You know, there are days that sometimes you wish you were just way more coordinated. This is one of those days. I'm a little bit regretting deciding to use the jump rings for this and not wire wrapping them on there. No. Let's do the jump ring because it's gonna work. It's gonna work. I just maybe need to open this up a little bit wider. Maybe. So that when it goes through, it can go through like that. Hook through. No. Go through that bit. Then have it over here. Oh, on that side. There it goes. It's on that side. And I just need to rotate it there so that my ends can meet. Okay. That guy's not going anywhere. Let's do the same thing on this side somehow. Okay. Just need that third point of attachment. And I think I'm going to go in here with it. Right there. Because the way I placed this one, this end went right up against or right over the edge, didn't it? Or I might be able to do it right there like that. That one's got the 3 ends connected, right? Okay, and this one, maybe, no, maybe it'll work right here. Oh, wait. I just went through the same, or the next loop, that first one. Oh, I need the small pliers though to hold that end. Here we go. Boop. Okay, so 3 points of connection for your spiders. If you're going to add some, then, oh boy, that was a lot of work, but I really like it. I'm glad I decided to jump into my Halloween bead stash and pull these spider charms out because they are super creepy crawly, but they go so well with the rest of this. And again, this came out of my Halloween bead stash as well, and I got it from Allegory Gallery last year, but they still have it for sale now. Yeah, Gone Batty. All right, let me move this guy out of the way. Let's do some earrings real quick. These ones will be way easier. Now, I've got the antique silver on these. Should I use my black or should I grab some pewter color wire? I think I'm going to use pewter wire for this because it goes better with that. All right. This is 20 gauge wire, so I'm just going to do simple loops with this. I don't have my round nose pliers handy, so I'm going to go ahead and use this. If the end is flush cut, and it looks like that one is, you can just bend your wire back until it meets the other side of the wire. And then, this is how I like to straighten it out so that it becomes centered, I just put this on the side of it, and it just gives it that nice little bend right next to it. And I like to give my loop a little bit of a squish just to flatten it, straighten it, and work harden it. That way the loop will stick around for a little while. And then that's going to be a couple of beads and a spacer tall. So let's go ahead and cut my wire there. And I can stack these guys on here. I think I want the sparkle and then my cushion spacer and then my pearl, like that. And if this is facing that way, then I'm going to want my upper loop to be perpendicular to this. So I'm going to hold it in my hands and use my finger and just bend this over the top. Because when I made my first loop, I looped it and then I bent it for it to be centered. And so for this one, I'm going to bend it first and then make my loop. And you can use like anything that you use for measuring for this part. I know from experience that if I hold the beads on my finger, the part where the wire meets the base of my fingernail is about 1 centimeter long. So I will usually cut my wire right there. And then use my pliers to roll that up into my top loop. And that's the loop that I'm going to attach my ear wire to. I don't have any ear wires for this. There's my, and again, I'm just giving a squish on this loop here. Let's do the second one before I make my ear wires. Or I could use the ear wires that came with the kit. Yeah, let's use the ear wires that came with the kit. It's been a really long day. And I have some earring backs that I can wear with these. It's usually one of the reasons I make my own ear wires is because my ears are wonky and this type of ear wire doesn't always stay in my ears. They just slide right out. So having earring backs on this type of ear wire really helps them to actually stay in my ears. All right, so I'm going to use those ear wires. And let's make our second earring. I'll go a little bit faster because I won't be talking you through all of the loops. But it can sometimes be really good for repetition to watch the actions being taken. All right, so I'm going to want that to be about that long. I was just measuring that against the existing bit so that I'd know how much to cut. All right, my bottom loop. Got my sparkly guy, my fancy spacer, and my pearl. And then I want this to be bent that way. You can adjust these loops after you bend them and after you cut them, any way that you want. So I usually will adjust them by holding both loops in my pliers. Say they're not quite perpendicular, they weren't quite crossed. So I just give them a little twist, and now they are perfectly perpendicular. Let's do the same thing here. Let's make sure that that's crossed. It's good. Also give that a healthy squish. And one of the great things about simple loops is that you can just swing them open like a jump ring. Give them a little twist like that. Hook on whatever you are attaching. And then swing it closed. like that. And then I'm going to just put this on here. Swing that open. Over to the side. Get that guy on there. Swing it closed. When I push this in, I put my fingernail behind this rounded part so that when I push against it, I'm not bending the ear wire, I'm only closing that part. See, I've got my fingernail behind it. That way when I push in towards it, it's not going to bend the ear wire. It will just close that part. You can also just pinch it closed like that. All right, so now I've got my moon earrings and my super goth Gone Batty necklace using a couple of extra items from my bead stash. All right, now I think the Gone Batty kit was sold out. There is a new kit they're going to be unveiling this week. If you wanted to check that out, they might still have some bead mixes available. I'll put a link to the Softflex kits site so that you can see what all is available. There we go. That's better. Yay. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you're having a fantastic week. Happy Monday and happy beading.